been a year since the pandemic began. A year, gosh. And we wanted to find out how homeschooling, being separated from their friends and living in lockdown has affected children's mental health. And yesterday, we shared the first results from our exclusive survey, COVID Kids, the state of our children's well-being. And today I can reveal more of those statistics. Of the 1,000 parents surveyed by one poll, half say their child has expressed feelings of loneliness. And is this something that you've noticed? And do you notice with teenagers? You know, they keep things close to their chest, Judi, sometimes. What about your kids?
Do you know, I know, especially my daughter, she keeps things close to her chest, you know, when you're doing the mocks, oh, everything's fine, and then you see them be a bit upset and you're like, I've been asking if you're all right. So I think they're all going through periods of loneliness. You know, my daughter is different, I think, for the girls, and maybe some won't agree, but in my household, this is what I feel. I feel my daughter, she's missing those connections, having those conversations with her girlies and new hairstyles.
Physically seeing them.
Yeah, and physically seeing them and giggling and all of that. Where with my son, he can go on his Nintendo or whatnot and speak to a group of them and play games. So I think it's really different. So I just try to encourage her to always have that conversation with me. I'm always, if they're upstairs for a couple of hours, I make sure I go and check on them and have that conversation and get them out of the house. And to be honest, try and take the stress away from them. I will say to them, if you're not feeling too good today, you know what, let's take a walk, come off the line and let's go and do something, because the reality is they're all feeling it. They are feeling it, and I'm grateful I've got the two to bounce off each other.
Yeah, I mean, Coleen, that's quite a shocking statistics of those parents surveyed. You know, half of them said that their children have said that they're lonely, and those are the ones that are talking. But not all kids talk, do they?
No, that's the thing. I think it's keeping an eye on them. Kira is quite private, really, with her feelings, but I can tell by the way she's acting sometimes during the day. Like only last week, I noticed that she was very quiet on that particular day, and eventually I got it out of her that she was just having a day where she was really missing her friends and just, you know, not necessarily going clubbing or anything, but just her friends coming round or her going round there. And I think then, you know, we're quite aware as a family that each day is going to be different for both of us. And now, hopefully, that the end is in sight, you know, these next few weeks are probably going to feel longer than the whole thing put together, because, you know, you just can't wait for it to be over. So I think talking and just watching and being aware and just constantly asking, you know, are you okay? I'm here if you need to talk.
I suppose, Janet, they are lucky in some ways that they do have, not all children, obviously, but a lot of them have technology to keep in touch.
I think,
You're saying,
I think a lot of older people are really lonely because they don't know how to, they don't want to be on WhatsApp, or they don't know how to use it. They don't feel comfortable chatting to a screen. They just like one-to-one, you know, chats. I feel also with a lot of my friends, I call them, but it's quite tiring because what are we doing? We're doing the same thing every day. And I was reading a piece in one of the papers the other day where someone owned up. Yeah, talking to your mates wears you out, and it wears them out too, because you go, what have you been doing? Not a lot. What are you cooking? What have you got for supper? Oh, sausages again. Oh, no, has my life come down to this? Yes, it has. And I am now addicted back to computer Scrabble, which I swore I would not do, and I am now spending an hour a day trying to beat a computer.
It's good for your brain. It's good.
Oh.
But also, Coleen, I was thinking this morning, you know, even when children are all together, I know often they're arguing or fighting, but at least they've got company. It must be extra difficult for, you know, a child on their own at home, and for the parents then trying to entertain them all the time.
Oh, absolutely. I've got one of my nieces is a single mom, and she's literally pulling her hair out because there's only so much entertaining you can do. And also, you've got to remember your own kind of mental health situation as well. So although you're giving the child all your attention and making sure they're okay, obviously there's times at night when, you know, she'll text me and go, I'm literally going out of my mind, or there'll be some days where she's like, I'm really depressed. I mean, thank God for technology, because we do have all of this, you know, even the fact I can be part of this show is fantastic with Zoom and all of that, but it's just not the same, is it, as actual human contact? No. But I think we've all just got to look out for each other, really.
Yeah. Some of my girlfriends have got in their cars and driven right down a motorway and back again to get away from their husbands because they're going mad looking at them.
Nikki says, my daughter's 14. The pandemic's had a major effect on her mental health. I'm doing all I can to make sure she knows I'm there for her and to make sure she talks to me. But it isn't the same as having her friends around her. And Nikki, that's reflective of so many of your comments. I haven't got time to read them all now, but thank you very much. We do read them all. And I think, Nikki, you're speaking for a lot of parents out there now. And hopefully, kids, it won't be long before you're back at school and you can see your friends.